Wait a minute. Does the Resident Evil High Definition Remaster suck? No way. It's a really unique and compelling experience. I'll just come out and say it. Resident Evil, it's an acquired taste. It has tank controls, wacky fixed camera angles, close quarters, a convoluted story, corny voice acting.
Barry. Where's Barry?
He's...
No.
Clunky combat, lots of inventory management for useless items, and sometimes just pure bullshit. Oh yeah, and you'll also see a lot of this. I've recommended Resident Evil on a bunch of different occasions, and the story usually goes something like this. The person gets through the intro and cringy dialogue, shoots some zombies, finds some items they can't do anything with, wanders aimlessly, gets killed by something they didn't expect, and then they quit.
And it's a real shame because when they decided to quit, thinking they understood all the game has to offer, they really hadn't seen it at all. They hadn't even acclimated to the style of game that it is. And, I get it. Acclimating to something sucks. They feel confused. They're not sure what they're doing wrong or what they should change. And now they have to put thought into something that is supposed to just be mindless fun. I know this because I lived this. Well, partially. I decided to try again.
And this time, I didn't pick up any items I didn't immediately need. I didn't shoot any zombies unless I absolutely had to, and I focused on more efficient movement. I really paid a lot more attention to the paths I took across the mansion and the many descriptions found within its walls. And that's when everything clicked. Resident Evil is just an optimization puzzle game with horror wrapping paper. It is a thinking man's game. You aren't meant to do super agile moves, and you aren't meant to need precision aim. It helps to know how to serpentine, but really almost all the combat can be avoided by just looking for cues. The bosses aren't even meant to be tests of skill, more like tests of how you manage your inventory before they even appear. Seriously, if you load up on 1 or 2 healing items, can move slightly left and right, and use your strongest weapon, you'll win every time. Everything feels basic and clunky because it's supposed to be simple and formulaic.
4 to 5 shots in the direction of a zombie brings them down once. Another 4 to 5 shots will drop them permanently. If you have the bullets in space, you will get past any zombie. But as you play, the question instead becomes, should you use those bullets for that purpose? Welcome to survival horror. These are the real problems to be solved in Resident Evil. They aren't grand in scope like beating the entire mansion level and moving on to the cabin level. Instead, they're scoped way smaller. You might find yourself wondering the best way to get across the next hallway unscathed, or how you can avoid rooms entirely because you know exactly how many enemies you'll need to avoid or drop.
As your familiarity with the gameplay style increases, you'll find yourself carrying less and less ammunition until you're doing scouting missions on a section of the map with no weapons at all, storing as much of the layout in your memory as you can for future use. This is how it's meant to be played, and it's glorious. And just when you're starting to get comfortable with all the formulas and you have a nice little nest egg of items, that's when the game rewrites itself and you're almost back to square one. You have to reconvene, build a plan, and execute. And then you just kind of beat it. It's not a particularly hard, long, or even scary game, but it is an experience that most other games just can't really replicate. In short, if you like to think, can deal with a bit of BS camera work, and can get used to the controls, you'll like this game, pure and simple. Oh yeah, and the story, just don't even care about the story. All right, it sets up the setting. That's all you need to know.